Hi, it's Diana, coming to you from a different room to discuss the intersection of literature and food. So glad y'all are here. I'm in I'm going to call it my sewing room, but it's also my laundry room. It's downstairs, it's small, it doesn't have an air conditioning vent, and it gets hot. But it seemed to be the right place to sit and think about how honey works in Winnie the Pooh. And I actually have both of the storybooks with me because I started reading, or I continued reading into the second book. And it kind of, so I have a long and winding, like a Beatles, way to answer how honey works in Winnie the Pooh according to me, or how I think it works, or how I respond to it. And the reason I'm in my sewing room is because reading the books, reading the stories, I had an overwhelming urge to make a quilt. Now that's not like out of the blue. I've been quilting for about 30 years. I taught myself when I was in college with a library book. And I was going to say perfected, but grew in my skills by joining a quilt guild and hanging out with other people who quilt and that kind of thing. So it's not about quilting, but so when I got this desire to make a quilt, I also meandered into the fabric section of a craft store. Of course, I wasn't going to buy anything. Oh, I'm just looking, and that didn't work because I came away with some wonderful Winnie the Pooh fabric. I'm making a simple 9-patch. It's all out of flannel. It's probably supposed to be for babies. It's gonna be for me. And this kind of, I was gonna say buttery, but warm yellow, the softness of the fabric, the sweetness of the little Poohs, it brought me to where a way of thinking about the honey. Also, I made some more condensed milk, and now I'm having some in tea. And it's the same feeling. Like I got the urge to do that at about 1:30 this morning, which is crazy time. And I did it. And I have some in my tea now. And I'm going to go beyond the one story. But in the short story / chapter, Winnie the Pooh really wants some honey. He sees the bees. He comes up with a plan, gets Christopher Robin to help him with a plan to fool the bees so he can get their honey. But I thought beyond that one chapter into the whole Pooh stories. And so I'm reading this one, and at the end, I know it's coming because I've read this before, and I've had it read to me when I was a kid. And at the end, I'm going to get all sad. Christopher Robin grows up. Now, he grows up enough just to go to school, but it always makes me cry. The conversation is, when Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh, is that Christopher Robin isn't going to be interacting with Pooh because he's too old. Okay, I'm back. I think I can handle it. And the thing with the separation and the growing up is it's an ending. I mean, like, it's an ending of the stories, and it's an ending of this relationship. This relationship will never be the same again. It's so sad. It's sad to me always. It's always been sad. And oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this one. Right now in my life, so, you can come to something you've read before, and it's different because you are in a different place. Winnie the Pooh has not changed. It's still the same words, But I've changed, and I'm coming to it right now with both of my parents in memory care. They both have dementia, and you know, we're walking toward the end. We're walking toward the end in so many ways. And so this relationship already will never be the same again. So what I think is happening, because I have this urge to quilt something sweet and soft and comforting, and I'm thinking about honey in the color and the condensed form. You know, the bees bring it and then they condense it to something very thick and sticky and sweet. And the same thing with condensed milk. It's the fluff is, the water is taken out and it's just concentrated. And I am looking for these concentrated pockets of comfort. Soft fabric that's going to be cozy. Right now it's hard to imagine because it is so hot where I am, but I'm still thinking about how cozy I'll feel when I finish this quilt and I can wrap myself up in it. How comforting it is to have this very thick, very sweet, very spicy drink that I would not drink usually. I have also found myself eating honey just out of a spoon, which I have done before, and thinking about Winnie the Pooh and thinking about how this is something comforting. This is something, it's just, like I said, condensed and sweet and sticky, and how it works that's how it's working for me as a reader right now, where I am responding to the stories and the kind of innocent sweetness of the stories, and the fact that something's ending, and I want comfort, and I see honey as a comfort. And so that's one level. That's the level of me as a reader diving into this story and being comforted by some of the things in the story. Condensed milk, honey, the character itself. That's my dog wanting to come in. I'm gonna let her in. I'll be right back. Okay, she's in. She helps make it hotter in here. The characters, the idea of a blanket, all these things comforting. The stories themselves are comforting because it's part of my childhood, because they're, like I said, an innocent kind of life embracing perspective. And it's not, you know, in the stories, Christopher Robin is the helper, the problem solver. If there's an issue, we go see Christopher Robin. When Winnie the Pooh wants a balloon so he can fool the bees, he goes to Christopher Robin. When it's not working, he asks Christopher Robin, will you please get your umbrella and say, tut tut, it looks like rain, so we can fool these bees. Honey in the story absolutely is a motivator for Winnie the Pooh. Honey gets Pooh out of the house. If he doesn't have enough honey, he needs to go and find honey. Honey is a welcomer when he goes to visit Rabbit, and Rabbit says, how would you like a little bit of honey, or would you like condensed milk? And Pooh offers, it's like the greatest gift he can give is to offer some honey, though he rarely ever gives it away because he usually ends up eating it. Motivator, it's something that speaks to him on another level. It characterizes him. Pooh and Honey go together. So Honey works in this story as, it's another layer of thick comfort, of like basic comfort, sweet, sticky, yummy. It also is a motivator for Winnie the Pooh, and it characterizes Winnie the Pooh. Man, I feel like I simultaneously feel like I'm skirting the question of how does honey work in here, and I also feel like I am answering it on such a deep level for me personally. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with right now, the answer for me, deep answer for me personally, is that honey represents comfort. I think honey is one of the things honey is for Pooh is comfort. When he counts his honey jars and he has 15 or 14 or 16, however many it is, then he's, okay, oh shoo, I still have some honey. So me and Pooh, we're comforted by honey. And I'm comforted by Pooh. So that also reminds me of how personal a reaction or a response to stories is, and how that response can change over time, and how, to me at least, the deepest, most lasting, most memorable response is my personal response. Somebody can tell me what Pooh and honey is to them, and that will add to my understanding, but it won't be as strong as my own understanding. And that's kind of, that encapsulates my message through all of these, which is a personal response to literature. That was the most emotional video I've done so far. The second one was talking about the Emperor of Ice Cream and the analysis with that one. That one got me too. But not as much as Winnie the Pooh. So I'm gonna drink my condensed milk tea and do some more sewing on my Winnie the Pooh quilt. And I am going to finish reading. I'm almost, you can see, well, you can't see, but I've got only a few chapters left, and actually reach the end where Christopher Robin and Pooh go their separate ways, and I'm going to be sad about it. Okay, thank you for joining me for Winnie the Pooh and Honey. I feel like I should say more, but I have no more to add that's not a repetition of what I've already said. Next time, I want to say I'm very excited. I'm always excited, and I am. I'm excited. Next time, I'm going to do Hunters in the Snow, which is a short story by Tobias Wolff. And this is going to be the first short story that I do. And the food is pancakes, which is also exciting. And, I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? I sometimes eat pancakes with honey instead of maple syrup. So I'm going to just continue this honey journey if I want to. All right, thank y'all. Like and share and comment and all those things if you feel so called to.